brought to you by Kellogg's. Kellogg's Cereals. The best to you each morning from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line? And now, live from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, a fine actress who opens tomorrow night at the Poinciana Theater in Palm Beach, Florida, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now a young man who was one of the quartet that is entertaining audiences nightly in the hit revue Beyond the Fringe, and whose own nightclub, The Establishment, is being wildly successful here in New York. Welcome him from over the sea, Mr. Peter Cook.
My pleasure to introduce Tony Award winner Phyllis Newman.
And on my left, the fine actor, also a Tony Award winner, my friend, Mr. Martin Gabel.
On February 2nd, 1950, What's My Line had its first performance, and the man who led it then in knickers and has led it so successfully ever since, here he is, Mr. John Charles Daly.
There's a picture to raise the hackles on the back of your neck, Daly, in knickers. It is. This is the beginning of our 14th year. You're right, by golly. I'd forgotten about it. I have one or two brief announcements to make. Our temperatures here in New York are sinking rapidly and are down around 11 or 12 degrees above zero tonight. I'm sorry to say that Dorothy Kilgallen is ill and is not going to be with us, but we hope we're giving her some pleasure as she lies in her sick bed. The other announcement is a happier one. I'm pleased to say that Mrs. Gabel, Arlene Francis, has just been elected to the board of directors of the New York World's Fair, which opens in 1964, and the only woman. And now, Miss Newman and Peter Cook, it's nice to have you here with us on the panel. We have some interesting occupations. I think you'll have some fun in the next half hour. I know we will. We'll also have a mystery challenger before our friends on the panel a little bit later in the program, and we'll meet our first challenger after this word. And now to meet our first challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? Well, I think that's Mrs. X. How do you do? And panel, Mrs. X's son. May I ask where you're from?
Ohio.
Ohio. Well, needless to say, we are not using the name in this case because we think it might reveal something to you. But I would like to present Mrs. X and her son, Mr. X, to the panel.
Happy to
Can
meet
you
you.
join me over here, please? All right. Do you know how we keep score? Yes. Well, that's fine. Then we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mrs. X and Mr. X deal in a service and are salaried, and we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Are they both in the same business?
Yes?
Is it a profit-making business rather than non-profit?
No. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cook.
Is it in any way connected with the entertainment world?
No. No, I wouldn't. It was in any way connected with the entertainment world. I wouldn't think so.
Some think it is.
But actually... But practically, we have to give you a no, Peter. I'm sorry. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Newman.
Thank you. That leads me to believe it might have something to do with the government. Does it?
Yes.
It has something to do. Does it have to do with the federal government?
Yes.
You two perform some service for the federal government, am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you go to people and tell them what you do to them? I mean, do you have anything to do with taxes? Do you have anything to do with the Internal Revenue Department?
The Internal Revenue Department, I would say no. Directly, no. That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Have you anything to do with the Department of Justice?
No.
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you elected to office rather than appointed?
Yes.
Is your position in Ohio a very large one in the state of Ohio?
I think that I could answer that and say that it would be considered a large position in the state of Ohio. Yes.
Would you be in Washington rather than Ohio when you are administering your services?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with the Senate or the House of Representatives? I just got them in, the House of Representatives.
I think we'd have to, since this is a double question. You meant that all as one question?
I did mean it all as one
In that
question.
event, we'll have to say yes.
Yes.
Are you both members of the House of Representatives?
Yes. Actually, the Honorable Frances Bolton and her son, Oliver Bolton, both
How do you
congressmen
do?
from the state of... a congresswoman and a congressman
I'm a
from
congressman.
You're a congressman. I remember once reading...
I'm a woman congressman.
You're a woman congressman. Now, that got me got me out of trouble very nicely. But this is your...
This is my 13th.
13th consecutive term, and Mr. Bolton has served 2 previous terms in the House and has now come back to the House again to practice his law in Ohio.
May I ask which party and if both members of the family are in the same party, John?
We are in the same party, and of course, it's Republican.
Actually, Martin, the ranking Republican member on the House Foreign Affairs Committee is Mrs. Bolton. Yeah.
Well, that's a very responsible post, I must
Yes,
say.
and the most interesting one.
And they both have, in another way, established something of a record. I believe this is true. This is the first mother and son combination in the House of Representatives in all the history of our country.
Well, I've never had
John, is there another member of the family to match the Kennedys all the way?
Oh, we have several more.
You do. Well, then the Republican Party has hope.
It is so. Well, may I, Mrs. Congresswoman, Congressman of the House of Representatives, thank you very much. Lovely of you
So
to be
nice
our
to be here,
guest
Mr.
on What's
Daly.
My Line. Nice to see you. And now to meet our next challenger, will you enter and sign in, please? Charlene Williams, right? Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Yes.
Miss Williams, and where are you from?
Pendleton, Oregon.
Pendleton, Oregon. Ah, you've had a lot of weather out there this week. We've been having weather everywhere. I went down south to North Carolina, to Greensboro this weekend, and we had a lot of weather. You have it in Oregon, and we've had a lot of it in New York, too. It's nice of you to come so far. May I present our panel?
How do you do?
Will you join me over here, please, Miss Williams? Do you know how it keeps going?
Yes, I do.
All right, in that event, we'll let the audience at home and the audience in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, Miss Williams is salaried, deals in a product, and let's begin the general questioning with Martin Gabel.
Ah, Miss Williams, could I use your product?
Yes.
Is it something that's more suitable for men than it is for women?
No.
No? 1 down, 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Is it a product that might be kept in a house?
Yes.
Or would it be in one part of the house rather than another as a rule?
Yes.
Is it edible?
Yes.
Would it be served at dinner?
Yes.
Oh, Was it ever alive?
2 down and 8 to go, Peter.
And it never will be.
No.
No chance. Is it part of the main course of any meal? Is it served as one of the main features of a meal, or is it an ancillary thing which you're pleased to get, but you can't be full on?
Well, I think, with your permission, the best way to answer that is to say that under some circumstances it would be or could be a part of the main course, yes.
It could be part of the main course. Only part of the main course.
Well, it could be integral to the main course under
it's
certain
not-
circumstances.
And could I make it a regular feature of my life? I mean, it's not prohibitively expensive. It's not very expensive.
You could make it a regular feature.
Well, I spend about $10 a week on food. But I'm only a visitor. Perhaps I'm more extravagant than most. I don't know. It's not particularly expensive, then.
That's right.
Is it... oh, dear. It's not by any chance green in color, is it?
No.
No. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Newman.
If I brought it out on a platter, would they say, oh, boy? Yes, they would.
Sure, yes. There's a presumption here that you have some facility in the kitchen, of course.
Is it something that you have to cut?
No.
You don't cut it at all?
You go. Small conference. Sorry about this.
If you've got very skinny fingers.
Oh, I thought you meant with a knife and fork.
You cut it. In other words, if I sat down and I had this in front of me, I would cut it like this.
Yes.
Would I put it on a fork?
Yes.
Would I put salt on it?
No.
Oh.
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Is this product particularly native to the state of Oregon?
No.
No. 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Is it vegetable rather than animal?
Yes.
Does the product grow?
No.
6 down and 4 to go. Now, this is the product specifically. Itself does not grow. This is not to say that an ingredient or its ingredients have not at one time or another, grown in the field. Mr. Cook?
This magnificent blend, is it served hot?
Yes.
Is it unpleasant when cold?
Well, I think that's a pretty fair statement. I don't know of anybody who particularly enjoys it cold, do you? No, I would think that's a fair statement.
As far as you know, do we eat it in England?
Oh, yes, I would think so.
And it's part of our staple diet in England. And I only eat so very few things. Is it some form of pie?
No. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Newman.
Now, listen, do you put a lot of things in this?
Well, frankly, Miss Newman, I don't, but other people often do.
This product is a conglomeration of some stuff. Is that right?
Well, I've been eating it for years. I'm about to stop, I think. Let me see. The product is a conglomeration of stuff. Do you mean, does it have more than one basic ingredient?
ingredient.
Well, I would say to do it properly. Now, you have to help me, because I'm no...
Does this lady cook this thing and make it and put it in a package and that's it?
Well, let's say that some part of your question was right, yes.
You cook this stuff. Where did you ever get the idea to cook it? All right, now, you cook it and you put it in a package, and we buy it.
No, we haven't agreed about the package.
Oh, I see. All right, you cook
So that's a no. I'm sorry. You've done the package twice. That's 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Could it be described as some kind of stew?
No.
No, you're in the stew, actually. This is
Have I said this before?
No. 9 down and 1 to go, Miss Francis.
Is it, you say it's vegetable rather than meat, animal. If it is, and it's not, I don't know where I am with this product, is it an accessory to other products? Rather than serving it all by itself.
You mean its relationship to a meal?
May I ask if there's more than one product that we're discussing here? Is that why we're having so much trouble with it?
No, you're not. There's only one product that you're discussing here. It's a very simple product, which I'm sure you all enjoy, pancakes. Williams is the chief factotum of Cindy's
Pancake
House in Pendleton. Actually, does it with her mother, but her mom is busy running, so she runs the whole place herself. About 3,000 pancakes a day.
How high in the air can you flip them?
About 10 times.
Can you really?
10 times what? Oh, you mean they flip 10 times in the air?
No, I can do that, but...
What are the different kinds?
See, we have banana and blueberry and buttermilk and buckwheat.
Those are
French.
staple products in England, aren't they, Peter?
French and
so,
Swedish.
Yes, we have all those.
Can I ask one critical question before you go? When you flip them, where do they land afterwards?
Not on the roof.
Not on the roof. We can get that in the Congratulations, and thanks for being with us in What's My Life. Now we meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor. And now we come to the special feature of our program, for which the panel is always blindfolded, as you know. Those blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes, John.
Good. Would you enter Mystery Challenger and sign in, please? All right. As you know, panel, different form of questioning, one question at a time, in turn moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Mr. Cook.
Are you in New York for a specific appearance, apart from What's My Line? Are you in New York for a specific occasion?
Yeah. Miss Newman?
Are you a male comedian?
Well, I'm male, but I don't know if I'm a comedian.
I think we'd have to give you a no on that. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Are you now appearing in a Broadway show?
Yeah.
Miss Francis?
Are you appearing in a legitimate play rather than a musical?
Well, it's kind of legitimate, I think.
That's yes.
Kind of
Mr. Cook?
legitimate? Oh, that's good.
Did that play open during the last 3 weeks?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Newman.
Did you ever do wonderful movies for Alfred Hitchcock?
I did some wonderful movies about Alfred Hitchcock.
Has
Not
three-
for-
No, not for Alfred Hitchcock. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Did your play open in the last week?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
But it is a play that has opened this past season. It didn't play last year. They've just been playing this year.
Well, it's played last year, but this season.
Oh, that's right, last year. We've just been into the new year. Got my years
Cook?
mixed up.
Although it is legitimate, is it also a comedy?
We think it's kind of funny.
You think it's kind of funny, eh? Were you ever in the movies? What is everybody laughing at?
They think I invented this.
I also can't hear with these things. Of course
Yes,
you're
I
in
think
the
that's a definite yes, Miss Newman.
Yes.
Mr. Gabel?
Is there another star in your play besides yourself?
I don't like to think about it, but there is. She's wonderful.
Well, could it possibly be that stalwart actor Tony Quinn?
Yes. Actually, Miss Newman, when you asked about the movies, Tony said, well, some people think I invented them. He's done so many and done so many magnificently. The play, of course, is...
And so long ago, too.
So long ago. I saw Lawrence of Arabia, no more than 3 weeks ago. And
Yes.
at the risk of embarrassing you, you were just wonderful.
And I also hear, John, that Mr. Quinn's performance in Requiem for a Heavyweight is certain to get an Oscar nomination.
I read this in Life magazine. It should. It should indeed. It should indeed. Actually, I saw Barabbas, too, every time I go to the movies, Tony.
Yes,
It's wonderful, but they're all wonderful movies.
Did we say the name of the play? Chin Chin?
Chin Chin with Margaret
Leighton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant that facetiously. I'm very proud to appear, of course, in Miss Maggie Leighton.
Well, and she knows it, too. I don't know, how do you get so many pictures? Will you make them in succession? They all get released at the same sort of...
Well, I just happen to need the money.
You happen to need the money. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I need it, too. Thanks very much, Tony. Wonderful of you to come and join us, and we hope you get that. You've done very well tonight, panel. And we'll be back with another contestant after this word from our alternate sponsor. And now to meet a final contestant, will you enter and sign in, please? George Snyder, right, sir? Yes, sir. All right. Mr. Snyder, where are you from?
Right here in New York City.
Right from New York City. Fine. Now, may I present our panel? Can you join me over here, please? You know how we keep score?
Yes, I do.
Fine. We'll let the audience at home and the audience in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Mr. Snyder is salaried and deals in a service, and let's begin the general questioning with Miss Newman.
Thank you. Mr. Snyder, could I avail myself of your service?
Yes, you could.
If I did and I was through with the service, would I be happy?
We hope.
Yes?
We hope.
Would I have to go someplace for this service?
Yes, you would.
I would. Would I go to a large building here in New York City?
No.
No, that's 1 down and 9 to go. Mr. Gabel?
Do you work for a non-profit-making organization, Mr.
It wasn't planned that way.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis?
Do you use your hands in your job, Mr. Snyder?
Occasionally, yes.
Do you talk to the people that come to you for your services?
At times, yes.
Do you work in a place that would be called a store?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cook?
Do you work by yourself on this, or do you have people working with you?
Can be answered yes or no, Peter. You'll have to...
If I come to you, would you alone provide the service for me?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Newman?
You and other people would do something for me. Would you touch me or hand me something? Would you touch me?
No.
Not necessarily. Might, in your case.
All right.
There we are. 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Do you have to have any special training for your job?
No.
Not really special in character.
Well, I mean, for example, is there anything involving mechanics?
Yeah, with your permission, Mr. Snyder, I would say that you would need to learn how things function. To that degree, training would be...
Does your job have anything to do with motors or anything relating to motors? Yes. Are you in some way, could you be called a certain type of mechanic?
No.
No. 6 down and 4 to go.
Do you fix things?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cook.
Does your service usually cost less than $10?
Yes.
Is it a thing which I would avail myself of frequently?
No.
That would make it 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Newman. Actually, I'm going to put all the cards over because this is going to be fun. I want to be sure you have a chance to let it sink in. Mr. Snyder is the operator of a ski tow in Van Cortlandt Park in New York City. I'm sorry we didn't have more time. Good fun, Mr. Snyder. Thanks for being our guest on What's My Line. It's great fun. Actually, they have a snowmaking machine up there and three ski tows, so you can ski right in New York City. On that happy note, good night, Miss Francis.
Good night, dear John, and good night, Dorothy. Hope you feel better. Good night, Peter.
Good night.
Say good night.
Oh, good night. Good night. I didn't realize we were...
Good night, Martin.
Good night. Give my love to Adolf. Good night, Dorothy. Hope you're back soon. Good night, John.
Good night, Martin, and good night, Bennett in Barbados, wherever you are. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us on What's My Line.
What's My Line is a CBS Television Network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Codman. Johnny Olson speaking.